Welcome back to another one. So on today's episode we're going to start degreasing this bike. We're going to start sprucing it up. So what I've got is I've actually got a bit of finish line degreaser. I know it says speed bicycle chain, but we're going to do that. Always spray on the right. There you go. See that. And then you give everything a good wipe down all around in that headset area, all along the bottom. Make sure you get every single little bit, because obviously if you remember we're putting some Invisi frame down there, so we want to degrease all of that. Let's degrease all of the bottom bracket area. And as you'll see, little places like that, we had a front mech there, look, and a little bit of degrease wiping is now taking all that off. Look, that's all virtually gone. There you go. Bit of degrease, and obviously we're going to silicone shine this as well. We're going to polish all this up. Bit of degrease. There you go. Let's polish all that bottom bracket area up as well. The cameraman can probably just get that in. Can you get that in? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. So, I want to give all of that area a really good clean up. All that bottom bracket. There we go. Look at that. That's just one little quick wipe. All of that area there, all of that, that's just a little quick wipe all around there and all that. That's good. So, join me back. I'm going to degrease, clean, polish this frame up, and then we'll jump back in. We're going to get in there, I'm going to clean all that up. I'm going to use degreaser. As you can see, look, as you look closer, the actual outer circumference of the actual bottom bracket shell looks relatively clean. The threads look really, really nice. We've just got that bit of rust and crap on the inside. So we're going to clean all that up and then join us back in a second. So basically we're doing a full degrease. If you look around here, look, close up, come on cameraman, look how clean that's come up, look. Near enough all the stuff around there is all buffed out, all cleaned up. We've even gone inside the bottom bracket. If you have a good look in there now, we've got rid of as much rust as possible. And that's looking quite fresh in there now. A few little pitting down there, but that's not bad, because we're gonna put some copper slip in there as well, just to make sure it doesn't get any worse. Everything else, if you come and look around all the headset area, really, really good with this one. Might have to, there you go, look at that, look, no rust whatsoever, head tube clean as anything, but we're going to put some copper slip around there. So let's go around and copper slip the bike. So copper grease, yeah. It's a what? Unicorn poo. Cameraman says it's unicorn poo. So what we're going to do is just going to rub and just basically give that entire inside good little wipe around there, all the way down as far as you can get. There we go. And then we're going to do the bottom. Make sure you get a good coating. We'll put a bit on the cups as well when we press the cups back in on the next video or the video after. So yeah, that's gone. And then what I also did is I also took out all the bottle cage bolts as well, made sure all the threads was clean. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blob a little bit on the inside as well. and a little bit in these. There you go. And then if you come up to there as well, obviously the legend that is Joe that owns the bike isn't going to be running a rack, but you don't want to get these bolts seized in, so we're going to put a little bit in there as well, and a little bit in that one. Don't worry about all this copper slip that you get on there, because we are going to yeah, you okay, cameraman? Yep. Right, cameraman's okay, he's not choking stuff. Alright, so a bit of copper slip in there. Don't worry about this on the frame, because we'll wipe all that off. We're going to basically silicone coat the frame anyway. And then bottom bracket, obviously we're going to be putting in a new bottom bracket shortly. So you want to make sure that you've got all the threads all nicely coated like that. You know, you don't want to leave any exposed metal. You want to get in the middle as well, where all the rust was going. Get all the way around, all top and bottom. Every single bit of that bottom bracket shell on the inside I'm going to coat, just to stop any crap getting in there. And then what we'll do, we'll swap around, cameraman. You go around the other side. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll do this side as well. And what I'm looking there is the whole inside is coated. This copper slip will be a barrier against the weather. There we go. Nicely. And then the last thing on the frame is just the drop out. So I'm going to give, because we cleaned up the threads in there as well. So I'm going to push some copper slip in there, just a thin coat. You don't want too much. We're not lubricating it. We don't want the rear derailleur to work its way loose. But what we don't want is we don't want rust to gather in there. So make sure that's all copper slipped up as well, just to protect the actual threads as well. So there we are. So come over to the workbench. So these are the little bolts that we took out. These are just the bottle cage bolts. You know, we just want to give them a little bit of a coat, nice thin coat on all the actual bottle cage bolts. There we go. So we put some in the frame already, so we're just literally just running our fingers around, pushing a bit of copper slip into those threads. There we go. And these are all the threads are all nice and clean. All the bolt heads are nice and clean, rust free as well. So that's what we want. We don't want any rust. Minimal amount of rust as possible. There you go. Run that around there. Get a bit more copper slip on those. And those as well. Obviously, like I say, we've got some in the frame, but this is just making sure that when we run these through, those have got the best chance of not rusting and so on. And then, Mr. Cameraman, right, that is the old bottom bracket, 73 by 113. What we have there is a nice fresh new one, as you can see. 73, length 113. So we're going to crack this. I'm going to get this in. Oh, look at that. And there's a massive difference here. It's a massive difference. So, as you see, the old one, let's get the old one out. And this is a big difference compared to a lot of the old ones. So, let's move them bolts up. So, what, did you not like that? Right. Well, zoom back a bit, Mr. Cameraman. So, as you can see, obviously rust, old one. Sounds like a bag of nails. Nice, fresh new one. Silky smooth, silky smooth. Cameraman, bit back a bit. Now, just on these bits alone, as you can see there, on the old one, you can see all that rust, all that crap. It is just metal. It's all just metal on the inside of there. Whereas the new one, you can see there's actually a rubber seal. So, the new one means what, Mr. Cameraman? It means there's a better seal. It'll work a lot better, and it will keep and make sure that it's going to be a lot better going forward. So, old one we don't want. The bolts we do want. Oh, now it's the new one. That's the old one. So we want that and that, put the old one over there. So, moving on from here, cameraman, you're all over the place. Have you drank any beers today, cameraman? No? No? Okay. Alright, so, bit of grease. I'm going to use muck off again. Big fan of muck off. And we're going to squirt some muck off grease out, look, just a little bit. Little wormy. And then I'm going to put that little dollop of grease and I'm going to run it around the inside on that seal, just to make sure that it's got an extra barrier away from obviously the weather. There we are. And then take a little bit more of the copper slip. I'm just going to run a little bit around the threads on the bottom bracket, not too much, but just a little bit. Look. There we go, just to give it that little bit. There we go, not too much, just a tiny little bit, look. Just a tiny little bit. So now let's get the new bottom bracket in the frame. So what you'll find with the bottom bracket, obviously we've cleaned all that out, we've cleaned all the threads out. You want to put that in. Now you don't want to force the bottom bracket in. If you backpedal it, you'll feel just there, it will drop into the threads. Now tightening on a standard threaded British bottom bracket, to tighten it in, it's actually anti-clockwise. So whereas normally it's lefty loosey, righty tighty, in this instance it's lefty tighty. Not righty tighty, lefty loosey, it's lefty tighty. So we'll get the bottom bracket tool, we'll get this all zoomed up. So we'll get the big rusty tool out. Oi! And this is rusty because I left that in the back garden. Need to clean it up a little bit. It is what it is. So what you want to do, see at this point you should find that it should go in. If you should find you reach anything like that and it's a little bit tight, maybe back it off just a little bit, double check to make sure, and that is just there, dropping in nicely. There we go, look, all the way. So if it gets tight, don't force it, back it off. If you find when you're putting that in it binds up within a thread or two, it's going in wrong. So don't just crank it, always make sure you back it off. And that, if your threads are clean, that should go in silky smooth all the way up. You shouldn't need to force it. So now what we're going to do is nip this up nice and tight. There we go, half a turn, and then a little bit more. So these bottom brackets are generally set at 40 Newton meters. That's way too much. So I like to do it by hand, just because I've been doing it a long time, so you can feel. Now that's all nipped up, that's fresh, that is running smooth as anything. So let's get the non-drive side in. So just like the right side, the drive side, you're going to back it off. Now British threads, so this side is righty tighty, so again back it off anti-clockwise until you feel it drop into the threads. And when you feel it drop into the threads, there we go, you'll be able to screw it in. Now this one does have a little bit of Loctite on there, so when you get to that you'll find that it will get a little bit tighter like that. Now that's normal because you've got a bit of Loctite on there, and all that's doing, it's going to thread in and lock up against the dry side. So I am going to nip this up. So join me back in 2 seconds once I've got this all nipped up. So now, after a bit of tightening, as you can see, you get closer. That is now a flush. Now sometimes these non-side drive bottom bracket cups do have a little shoulder, but as you can see, this one's sitting flush with the frame nicely, and it spins nice as well. So that's one job done. There we go. Nice fresh spinning bottom bracket. Don't sound like a roller coaster. There we go. How do you feel, cameraman? You happy with that? Yep, cameraman's happy. There you go. And then what we'll do is, I promise the cameraman he can screw these in, but I'll start them off and put all these back in now, because obviously these have all got anti-seize on. Bit of copper slip. So we know that if the legend, that is Joe, wants to put any bottle cages on these in the future, that these are not going to be seized in and stuck. So, and then we want the 2 rack ones. So, let's see if I can double whammy this. Oh, double whammy. That one's going in nice. And again, should be able to do these by hand. If your threads are clean, these should screw in like that, look. You shouldn't have to use tools. If you've got to use tools, your threads are dirty. You're going in at the wrong angle. You know, nip them up, give them a good wipe off, and you know what? They're not going to seize in. They're not going to get stuck. So, right, there we are for that then. Bottom brackets in, frames clean. Next, what we're going to do is, before pressing the headset and everything like that, we'll probably do the Invisiframe next. We'll do that in the morning. Join me back in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you in a minute.